Aita for ending an 8-year friendship after my cameras recorded her sneaking around my home while I was out of town. Honestly, I second-guessed myself at first. My boundaries have always been weak and I felt sorry for her. I told myself, maybe it was a one-time thing. But then, bam, I found out she had done it many times before. That changed everything. My other friend, who is one of the kindest and most forgiving people I know, suggested I should forgive and move on. But how do you move on from that level of betrayal? I know I made the right decision, but damn, it still stings. The loss of what I thought was an 8-year friendship is real, but so is the realization that I never truly knew her. Backstory. We met when I was her hairstylist, and since we lived just 6 blocks apart, we naturally got close. She would stop by 3 or more times a week. We bonded over crafts, plants, and long chats by the fire pit. But over time, her endless relationship drama, which, let's be real, she created for herself, became exhausting. I started pulling back, not because I didn't care, but because I was drained, and I knew she didn't have many other friends, which made me feel guilty. Fast forward to my trip. I went out of town to visit my daughter at college, and before I left, I installed a new security system. Didn't mention it to anyone. Why would I? My daughter and I were playing around with the camera feed so she could check in on our cats while I was away. We were laughing and figuring out the app when suddenly, there she was, my so-called friend, inside my house, in the dark, with her phone flashlight on, digging through my drawers, cabinets, everything. My daughter and I just stared at each other, jaws on the floor. I texted her immediately. Me, hey, were you at my house today? Her, oh yeah, I was in the backyard picking up sticks for my fire pit. Me, were you in my house? Her, oh, I had to go into the garage to find a container. I told her I had security cameras. She laughed, actually laughed. Her, oh haha, why are you asking if you already saw me in the backyard? She had no idea I had cameras inside too, so I sent her a screenshot of her sneaking around with her flashlight. Me, know who this is? Minutes passed, then came her excuse. Her, oh, yeah, your cat got out. Me, how would my cat get out if no one was in the house? Her, I'm so sorry, I was actually looking for gel pens for my artwork. Me, you just bought 100 gel pens last week. At this point, I was fuming. She kept trying to laugh it off, then suddenly switched to, I was just upset about my boyfriend and needed something to do. What? Breaking into my house is her version of something to do? I told her straight up, I was done. I had spent years trying to teach her about boundaries and I was exhausted. Our friendship was over. Then came the kicker. My basement renter casually mentioned that she had been at my house every time I was out of town. He had assumed I had asked her to check on things. 2 weeks later, she texted like nothing had happened, like we were still besties, like I should just shake it off. She needed relationship advice. I was beyond pissed. Me, oh, by the way, my renter told me you've been at my house every time I leave town. Her, that's none of his business. Why would you even tell anyone? Me, because it's creepy and because I'm done with toxic people in my life. She tried to play the victim, but I wasn't having it. I blocked her. Done. End of story. Later, when I told another friend about it, they made me feel guilty, like I was the bad guy for not giving her a second chance. People make mistakes, they said. She deserves forgiveness. Number just no. This wasn't a mistake. This was a pattern of deception, disrespect, and complete disregard for my privacy. I've spent years ignoring red flags and I refuse to do it anymore. So, Aita for cutting her off? Because honestly, I don't think so. And yes, my doors are locked, and my security system is officially on. Lesson learned.